updates. I put up a post, like a YouTube Shorts, talking about just like the hiccups that happened last year with YouTube. But I mean, I don't hold those too crazily, because if you think about it, 365 days to skip out of maybe a month and a half, I'm okay with that, because everything else, like how many days that I put in for being consistent, I'm totally fine with that. However, just me wanting to not really be a perfectionist in it, but you know, how can I make it better going to the next round? And I know I mentioned how during fashion time it's so busy, and whether the question is bringing in an editor, maybe, let's see. But I've really been thinking and thinking and thinking, and one of the girls I follow on YouTube kind of gave me this idea, because she went to posting bi-monthly, and so versus doing it weekly, bi-monthly is something that she knew she could stick to for the full 12 months. And so I think maybe out of the 11, let's say 10 and a half months, it was every week, and then a little bit of a skip towards the end with like Fashion Week time. So what I think I'm going to do is move YouTube posting to bi-monthly posts, and then ramp up YouTube Shorts. So you'll still feel like you will know what I'm doing, what I'm up to, but I'll be able to be a little bit more intentional doing it bi-monthly versus doing it weekly. Right now, when I do it weekly, I kind of do whatever's kind of happening in the week, versus I think if I do it bi-monthly, I'll be able to really think about what's being placed on the account. I'll be able to filter through things that maybe don't need a full YouTube clip, you know, in regards to it, but I can focus on main things. And knowing that I'm going into Fashion Week shortly, and I want to make sure you get those things, I think that is a good strategy to go in consistently with bi-monthly. So I'm giving you guys a heads up. This is going to start in February. So when February rolls around, it will start being bi-monthly with a ramp up in YouTube Shorts. But yeah, we see things, we adjust, and I think you'll find the quality even be even better doing it bi-monthly, because I will really be able to sit with the edit versus just rushing to get it out, or using the weekend to kind of rush and get that edit out. But yeah, it's a beautiful day in New York. We're going in with strategies for the new year, but let's get back to this YouTube edit, and so we can go meet Noah. Last week with my mom and my aunt, but it was so good that I told Noah we have to go back together, because they had this cinnamon roll that was unbelievable.
Hello, did you miss me? I missed you.
Yes.
They hate me that
Right.
Fabulous woman.
Yeah, we started a share meal. Like, it's more. And then this morning I came to realization, being like, you know what?
Right.
It's I didn't knew her before she got really big.
What was she like that?
10 out of 10.
How are you helping my pizza? It's like, how are you?
No, like, it's so crazy to see someone like that. And then they,
I don't watch TV, so, you know.
Actually, like, I don't know any of these people.
The days have been speeding by. I feel like with me putting out this guide, if you've been following my journey going into the new year for 2026, I put out my 75 not so hard social media guide, and the response has been so great. And I've just had to stay on top of my toes with a lot of customer service, and thankfully, like, having a team is definitely helpful. Yeah, it's been a huge learning curve, but we've done this before, so I keep on telling myself, just take the knowledge that I have and we keep tweaking things and what works and what doesn't work, how can we make it better? I want the customer service process to be as smooth as possible too. Like, I don't want there to be any friction. So yes, it's been a very learning curve, but I'm happy. And we're going into Wednesday with that same, like, yesterday was a great day regarding the guide, and I want today to be another great day. So we've got the email marketing has went out, the different advertising around it. I posted things like to LinkedIn yesterday evening, so getting that out to people that has showed interest on LinkedIn. But yes, this has been a very in-depth process, but I'm excited. Like, I'm really excited about how everything's coming out. And again, if you are interested in a guide, I will, for the month of January, continue to put the link down below so you can see it, check it out if you want to purchase it. Today has been a day. I am going to take a moment to, like, stop. I've been doing these things where, like, I want my home to, like, remain clean throughout. Like, it just helps me to be, like, a little bit more fresh mind when, like, my place and my surrounding areas are clean. So I've been doing this, like, 5-minute I don't know what you call it, like 5-minute race to, like, clean. And so I give myself like 5 minutes in each area of my apartment, 5 minutes in my bathroom to clean, living room, and whatever I get clean in that 5 minutes, that's what's clean. And even though it doesn't get, like, perfect, it definitely helps ease the weight at the end of the day with cleaning, and it takes a little bit more of a burden off of me. And it gives me time to step away from my computer, because a lot of times I will stay at my computer and not leave. So I think I'm going to do a 5-minute throughout my home, but then I'm going to pop to the gym, and then I gotta come back because I have a client meeting in about an hour, but I feel like that 1 hour will give me time to really just, like, disconnect for a bit. Also, this set is so comfy. I need to show you guys the full set. Hold on. Oh, let's look in the mirror. I'll show you guys in the mirror. This is like this set, like the cozy set that I'm in right now. I'll definitely put the brand name and the link as well for them, but they sent me this very cozy set. I love to kind of get dressed a little bit while I'm at home. It helps with my productivity. So even though, like, I'm not going out to a corporate environment, or I'm not going, you know, outside for meetings, I still like to get dressed up, especially on days that I have, like, client meetings. I want to fully be dressed, give a little light beat, and, you know, it makes me more productive. It definitely makes me more productive. Okay, let's do the 5-minute clean throughout the house, get to the gym, and then get back for our client meeting. To do a quick few errands. It's Thursday. This week has been very intense. January, it's not playing with me. It's not playing with me at all, and that's okay. That's okay. We're going to get some things done, and yeah, let's get coffee. My mind, I think, a lot clearer when I have coffee. Okay, let's go. Okay. I'm so happy. I have been in the gym every day. I'm trying to ease back into this gym routine, and really I was like just being like, go for 10 minutes, go for 15 minutes, and just by getting there in my mind, I'm like, oh, 10 minutes. Of course I stay a little bit longer, and then it's been longer and longer each time. guys, it is Friday. We made it through the first week of launch. It has been a very intense week dealing with getting the guide out, any hiccups. We did a lot of learning curves, but I'm not gonna lie, it felt good to like figure out a lot of things like in real time. Make sure clients were straight. I felt like really productive with like client work. Still gonna do a lot more client work today. I got back the clips for my new fashion series, so that's coming. Like in a really good place. This was definitely a week of laying groundwork. You won't see a lot of footage of me like moving and going and shaking because I really invested the time into my guide. I feel like this is something that is mine and I just want it to be as perfect as possible. But yeah, let's go back. We have meetings on top of meetings today, so. Good morning. We are back at my desk. Of course, with coffee in hand. Today is another intense day. I'm like, what email just came through? Oh, cute. I suspect the next 3 weeks are going to be intense, like straight. I'm including weekends on this too, which that is okay because we are pushing the guide right now. And not only is the guide happening, I think that's something added on to what my everyday routine is. So making sure clients and that flow is going, partnerships and things that my manager is bringing in, the content that I might be putting on my channels. There's still those things that are moving and shaking. So it's definitely been putting in a little bit longer days for the month of January. I've kind of just like calculated. We're pulling doubles on these days, but things I'm making sure to keep myself sane. 8 hours of sleep, non-negotiable. I'm still making it to the gym. I'm still making sure I take my walk outside. I'm eating healthy. I'm cooking at home. The things are still happening. So today, what's on the agenda? Meeting again with my friend, Fran. I know I mentioned previously like meeting with your friends to talk about your goals. And we're doing a little check-in. Like last time we did like 3 or 4 hours. Today's just an hour check-in to see like what things can be tweaked. What do we need to do for the guide? I just want to have a healthy check-in and see like how things are going, and then us to bounce ideas off each other of like how it can be better.
How did you schedule a 25-minute session this week?
Well, no. 101 start on Saturday, tomorrow. So wait, let's talk about that. Let's start with 101. It's more than I can't wait to see. Okay, let me start with 101. I don't know what this angle's giving. And the crazy part is that they're like drilling outside of my home. So let's just see if you can hear me and it's not crazy. Okay, so I don't know. I mentioned that last year, I mean, this happens every, I don't think I can do this. We're back at my desk and I don't think we've been to any other spaces this week. And I'm sure this YouTube is going to be dedicated to being at my desk, but you all know why. I wanted to talk about this, and I tried to before, but the loudness yesterday of the drilling was not, was that yesterday or the day before yesterday? Anyways, the drilling was too loud for me to actually speak. So I was like, let me come back and say this because I feel like it's very important. But I wanted to revisit just a few of the conversations that I had. I mentioned before, a lot of times I have different women that'll reach out to me, whether they saw me on a panel discussion or they saw me in a certain space or an event and wanted to connect further. And a lot of times I try to do these 30-minute virtual chats with people when I do have time. And because I didn't really have time last year, I knew I really wanted to make it a point this year to start off the year just talking to a few different individuals. And so I got to speak to 4 women, and there were certain themes that kept coming up that I wanted to just like chat about with you all, and maybe somebody that is listening, you will find this helpful. One question that I get repeatedly asked, not even just from the women that I was chatting with, I have my MBA. So I did my MBA with the emphasis in finance. My undergrad degree was in finance. And basically, how did I pivot from doing that to doing what I am doing now, or being in the fashion space and then also being in the social media space? And I basically like to tell people that you want to take the skill set that you currently have, whether you are an engineer or you are a lawyer or you are in retail, and what are those key things that sets you apart? So if you're going after a job role that's outside of your typical, 9 to 5 that you hold right then, but you want to move into another space. And for me, I wanted to move into the fashion space. I'll use myself as an example. I knew that by doing my MBA, it would set me apart from all the other ladies that might be applying to certain jobs. You'll see like fashion resume, then you'll stop and be like, wait, business, finance? Like, why is she applying? But then, so I have something that will stand out, but then also too, I have to reel it into what skill sets do I currently hold that overlap with the current job or the current industry that I'm trying to get into, and really just making that list. I also made it a point that while I was doing my MBA to do internships. I did internships in the spaces that I wanted to be in. So I did a lot of fashion internships just because a lot of these spaces are more so community focused. It's who you know, the relationships that you build. So even if you are just gaining like what seems to be a very low tier experience, getting to know those people and really building that community and talking to people and reaching out for virtual conversations, that really builds that up. Yes, I felt like my MBA had purpose, and it may not have been the purpose that a lot of people would have thought about, such as like, oh, I'm going to do finance. But I will say this, having that degree, now that I own my own business and I'm doing my own thing, it's super helpful now. So it was definitely a win-win situation for me. Also, another topic or thing that kept coming up, I made notes so I wouldn't forget, but another note that kept coming up when talking to these women, what others would think of them being in the social media space. So like whether they were trying to pursue being a creator or more so like an authoritative figure in their space. So, you might have a person that is like a writer and they want to be more active on social media with what that looks like. But you're nervous about what will family members think, what will friends think. A lot of times people say like, I come from a small town, like people are gonna judge me for trying to be a creator or be like on social media. And I constantly have to say, that is not your audience. Your friends and your family, that is not your audience. Most times 10 out of 10, I'm saying 9 out of 10, but I'm saying 10 out of 10. It's not your audience. So I even know like whenever I put out my product, for example, the 75 guide, that 75 guide is not for my family or for my friends. That's for a separate community, specifically who's interested in social media. So why am I caring about what they think? I have to put in perspective that I understand a lot of times you feel this pressure of like, I feel too scared to look stupid, or I feel too scared to do something, or I'm too scared to pull the trigger. Like even when I started YouTube, it was new territory to me, and talking to a camera was so weird to me. So what I did was, even before I launched YouTube, for an entire month, I just made myself go outside with my camera, get comfortable holding my camera around people. How do I do this in a way that it feels authentic to me and I don't feel like cringy or whatever the case may be? I had to make it a habit and a routine, and it's almost what you have to do, create a routine around it, but then also thinking, at the end of the day, most times people are not thinking as hard into it as we think they are. And if they are, it's okay. Do you pursue your passions, whether that is to be in the creator space or basically put your knowledge on social media or put like your expertise, like be social forward, just because that's the way the world is moving at this time. That just is what it is. That's the direction we are going in. A lot of times having that social media presence is important. You can't think of like, what is other people going to think of me? I'm not going to do this because they're going to laugh at me or judge me. So what? And then think about the long run. Like where I'm at before I left my home in Arkansas is not where I'm at right now. And a lot of people could not understand why I was moving from Arkansas to New York. I had people say all kinds of things to me that were negative, that were rude, but I still did not let that get to me because I could see the end result. And now that I'm here in this position, do you know how many times someone tells me And I remember they told me something negative before, but they're more like, oh, I knew you were going to do something, or wow, I'm so proud of you. But I still remember the things in the beginning. And if I would have let that stop me, I wouldn't be in the predicament that I am. So think about your future self. I want my future self to be proud of current me. So think about whatever you're doing, and you having that social media presence, you're doing it for that future self. Lastly, this also is something that kept coming up. I was like, man, people are asking the same questions. Like, how do you do the social media space when you have a 9-to-5? So you have a 9-to-5, trying to make time, and basically saying like that 9-to-5 drains you, but the time I'm done with that 9-to-5, I do want to do something when it comes to social media, but I'm too exhausted. I had to tell, and I told each person this story, being like, there was a time where I had to really sacrifice. And it's not the sexy or the glossy thing that, you know, people are probably looking for you to say, but it's the truth. You have to have those moments of sacrifice to be like, I knew that, okay, I am going to sacrifice my Saturdays. My Saturdays are going to be geared towards me planning what's going to happen on social media coming up, or it might be Sundays where I'm like, okay, after I have this thing or meeting or church or brunch or whatever the case may be, I have to spend 6 hours, just like, you know, a job, and I'm focusing on doing the social media thing. Just because you either will have, I'm going to guess, if you have a 9-to-5, you're either going to have early mornings, late evenings, or the weekends. And so you have to choose one of those buckets. Which one of those buckets do you want to sacrifice for, and test it out? Be like, you know what, next 4 weeks, I am going to plan content every evening after work. Like, or I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and 5 to 7, that is the time that I am working on my content. And it doesn't have to be content, it can be something, another passion that you're trying to pursue. But there has to be this moment of sacrifice. I did that when I was working at a corporate environment and I started to take clients, and I was like, ooh, I might be able to do this fully, but I knew that I couldn't let it interfere with my 9-to-5. So I worked weekends and nights, do maybe an extra 3 hours each evening, and then weekends I was pounding the pavement. And I did that for maybe 3 or 4 months before I felt like, okay, I'm ready to make this a full-time thing. Just know that those are seeds that you're planting now. The future, like, again, the future Candace is thanking that Candace now, because that was a tough and hard time, but it was so worth it in the long run. And the thing is, I had the vision to foresee that and know that what I was planting then and cultivating then was going to become something so much bigger. And I didn't know exactly the blueprint. That's the thing. I didn't know exactly what space I would be in. I wasn't fully sure when I started out, but the thing is, just to start. Like, that's what I'm going to end today on. Just start. A lot of times we psych ourselves out and we think we have to have this skill set, or we need this degree, or we need this level of equipment, or no. Just start with what you have and build. Your future self will thank you. And even this present Candace right now, I'm so thankful that I started YouTube and started when I did and kept consistently going despite everything. Even YouTube, that was a sacrifice. I spend weekends doing the editing and bringing that together. That was the sacrifice I made to create YouTube, so that you guys can have nice content. And I'm so happy you all are here. But please enjoy the rest of your week. If you're seeing this at the beginning of the week, or if you're seeing this on the weekend, have a great weekend. I'm hoping and wishing that everyone has an amazing new year. January is just the start. Don't feel like you can't start something just because we're going into the end of January. And, you know, depending on when you watch this video, it's never too late to start. So let's go. You got it. Bye.
Above the water, finally I can breathe again. Lost in the waves I wander, but in your eyes I see no pain.